5 things that easily steal 40 hours a week from you. Hey and welcome everyone. It's day 58. It's productivity day. And yes, I truly believe that there are 5 things that are taking 40 hours from you. And this is something that, depending on, look, if you're starting your own business right now, or if you're doing something on the side, could actually be an entire full-time job, or you could just spend it with your kids, your wife, you're doing something else. And this is really, really crucial. So let me walk you through with those 5 things. First and foremost, I think it's a lot of daily decisions that you're doing when it comes to choosing your clothes, when it comes what you do for a workout, when it comes to your food. You have a lot of decision making that just take a lot of time. And at the end, these are things that could be very compressed, very fast. I get this question so much from people where they're like, why do you always wear the same clothes? Are you trying to copy someone else? No, I'm not. It's just, it's so simple. I normally always wear white shirts and that's it. I eat the same breakfast. I have generally a similar lunch and so on. It just reduces a lot of decision making. And I get it. Sometimes this can get stale and boring. Well, then just switch it up in this moment and keep going with this. And I think at the end, that's all fine. That can easily take 1 or 2 hours a day, believe me, and it's crucial of the time that you save. Number 2, and that is a bit of a, like, the scale of that can be insane, but it's a lot of the daily house chores that you have to do, right? Obviously, cooking, making meals, cleaning up, going shopping is a lot of daily house chores. And the scale here really depends on how much are you going to outsource, either because someone else is helping you or because you're paying someone to do this, cleaning up and so on. And this really depends a bit on your financial situation, where you live and so on. So I want to really kind of respect this on this. This may take, like, that you cannot reduce this much. This can just really not take much time. My tip on this in general is that you use this whenever possible as a recovery from doing a lot of mental work, right? So it's not that I never clean up. It's not that I never do anything in the house. I am also going shopping and so on. But for me, it's really when I can use it as a bit of a kind of taking off from work. It's a bit of a recovery period, right? And that is really important. But to be fair, I'm not doing much of the shopping. I'm not doing much of the housework. It's just how the workload is split. So I'm giving it a bit of a flexibility here. Obviously, this can be extreme. You can scale this either direction, but I think that's a really, really important one. Now, number 3, that is an important one. We're going to discuss this more in detail next week specifically. And that is having too many meetings, having too many calls, doing things that could be done in a simple message as a long email. It's basically shortening from a physical meeting, doing a call instead of a call, doing an email instead of an email, doing a short message. Now, we're going to discuss this next week because this is very dangerous as well, because it may mean that you're going to actually alienate everyone. But it's so crucial that you really consider in how many meetings you are, how many calls you're doing, and really kind of restructure that. Not only from a business sense, but also from a personal kind of perspective. So we're going to be discussing this next week in great detail, specifically that topic. Number 4, it's all this messaging stuff. And it's not so much that messaging and social media is there. It is that you're checking it constantly. It's constantly your WhatsApp checking, constantly email checking. And you can easily waste 1 or 2 hours a day purely on checking messages. Now, this is something we discussed very early in the daily routine. So kind of listen to those episodes very early on. But believe me, if you can get rid of that, switching off your notifications and so on, my goodness, that saves so much time. And last but not least, believe me, there's a lot of you who waste a lot of time on irrelevant and non-urgent things. And you're sitting here and you're like, how's this possible? It's not relevant and it's not urgent. Why would I waste time with this? I don't know, but it happens. And a lot of that are these topics on the media, on social media, where people discuss certain politics topics, certain sports topics, things that the world just wants to put on you, and you waste a lot of resources and time and energy on. Obviously, on social media, discussing, debating with friends and so on, that you could actually use for really constructive things. So it's okay that sometimes you debate certain things, but you need to stop and you need to move on. And look, it's a decision whether you kind of really focus on those 5 things, trying to eliminate them as much as possible, or if you want to do those and basically waste almost an entire job a week. It's not easy to do that, and you're going to have a lot of reasons on why not to do certain things. And look, some may call this excuses, you may call this a good reason, but at the end, you will see people who are insanely productive. They just, like, I don't think eliminate them to zero, but they reduce those things in a very efficient manner. And so when people ask me, say, how do you have so much time? How do you get all these things done? It's because I believe I'm doing quite well on them. I'm not saying I'm perfect on them by no means, oh no, but I am quite good at minimizing them. And at the end, that gives me so much more time. And so take those 5 things to heart. Next week, we're going to be discussing them in a bit greater detail on one specific thing, the calls, the meetings, and so on. If you like those things with the 5 kind of list and so on, let me know. Then maybe tomorrow I fill in a different topic around that as well. You can let me know. And otherwise, see you. Anyways, we have obviously rest of the week, weekend, personal topics. So see you for that. Stay tuned, subscribe, click the bell icon, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yours truly, Julian. Bye-bye.